All right. So, you handed me this research paper, and it's titled From Plot to Prompts, a case study on interactive narratives in museums.
Okay.
And I gotta say, it's got my brain buzzing already.
Yeah.
The idea of AI helping to shape stories within a museum. I mean, that's
Right.
not your everyday museum trip, is it?
It's definitely not your average audio tour.
Right.
What really grabbed my attention was the way this paper reframes AI's role,
Yeah.
not as a replacement for human creativity,
Hmm.
but as a powerful tool that can, like, augment it and enhance it.
It's like giving curators a superpower,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But I'm curious about the practical application here.
Yeah, so the paper centers around a case study
Okay.
at the Egyptian Museum in Turin.
Uh-huh.
It's part of this broader Italian initiative called Changes,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is a pretty fitting name for the kind of shift they're proposing.
I agree with that.
In a nutshell, they've developed this digital platform that empowers curators to craft interactive narratives, specifically tailored to a museum's collection and layout.
So they're using AI to create museum experiences that are actually interactive.
Right.
But what does that really mean for the visitor?
Okay.
I mean, how is this different from, say, a guided tour?
So imagine you're not just passively absorbing information,
Right.
but you're actively shaping the story that you're experiencing.
Okay. Interesting.
This research zeroes in on the concept of visitor agency,
Okay.
where your choices have a tangible impact on how the narrative unfolds. Think about it. You could be faced with a decision
Right.
that actually determines which artifacts you encounter next,
Oh.
or even influences the overall tone of the experience.
I'm starting to see where this could get really interesting.
Yeah.
But I do have to ask,
Sure.
how much of the storytelling is actually being done by the AI?
Right.
Is it more of a behind-the-scenes collaborator, or is it actually like writing the script?
It's more of a partnership,
Okay.
a kind of creative collaboration between human and machine. Think of it like this. The curator sets the stage,
Okay.
outlining the main plot points
Uh-huh.
and the overall narrative arc they want to achieve.
Okay.
Then the AI steps in as a sort of narrative assistant,
Okay.
helping to flesh out those ideas and connect the dots.
So the curator is the architect, and the AI is the contractor bringing the blueprint to life.
Exactly.
I like that analogy.
I like that.
But how does the AI know which details to add,
Right.
which pieces of the story to emphasize? Does it just pull facts at random?
Not at all.
Okay.
It operates on a framework of predefined story templates and a meticulously curated knowledge base.
Wait, hold on.
There you go.
Story templates?
Yeah, think of them as classic narrative structures,
Okay.
like the hero's journey,
Uh-huh.
a mystery,
Okay.
a quest.
Okay.
These templates provide a foundation for the AI to work with.
I'm starting to get it.
Yeah.
So the AI has these templates to follow, but
Yeah.
what about the content itself?
Okay.
How does it know which artifacts to select, which historical figures to weave into the story?
That's where that knowledge base comes into play.
Okay.
Each object in the museum's collection
Okay.
is carefully annotated with a wealth of semantic information. This includes basic details like the object's name,
Uh-huh.
use historical period,
Okay.
but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
They also annotate each item with potential narrative role,
Okay.
the kind of story element it could represent.
So are you telling me they're actually tagging objects like
Yeah.
this ancient vase could be a powerful magical artifact?
Mm-hmm.
Or this statue could be the hero's long-lost mentor?
You're getting the picture. They even give this fascinating example in the paper
Okay.
about the Egyptian site of Geblim.
Uh-huh.
They explain how the annotations could include figures like the goddess Hathor as a character,
Okay.
everyday objects found at the site, and even, get this, the archaeologists themselves as characters in a modern-day storyline.
Wow.
It's about seeing each object,
Yeah.
not just as a static artifact,
Right.
but as a potential story waiting to be told.
My mind is officially blown, but I have one more question, and I know this might sound a little technical,
Why?
but I'm really curious about how the AI goes from having this massive library of annotated objects
Uh-huh.
to actually generating sentences and dialogue.
Okay.
How does it translate all that data into a coherent narrative?
It all boils down to a clever system of prompts.
Okay.
The curator provides a template sentence,
Okay.
like the pharaoh stood before the object, feeling emotion.
Oh, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So the AI fills in the blanks, but where does the actual language come from?
Okay.
Is it just spitting out dry encyclopedic facts?
Yes. Actually, they use a large language model,
Okay.
similar in concept to ChatGPT, but more specialized,
Uh-huh.
to generate the text itself. Think of it as a sophisticated writing assistant
Okay.
that can take those selected objects, plug them into the template sentence,
Okay.
and produce a polished piece of text
Yeah.
that flows naturally within the story.
So it's like a choose-your-own-adventure, but instead of turning to a specific page based on your choice,
Yeah,
the AI dynamically generates the next part of the story.
you got it.
Interesting.
And what's really intriguing is that the curator still has the final say.
Okay.
They can edit the AI's output,
Right.
ensuring it's accurate, engaging, and aligned with their overall vision.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want the AI to go on a tangent and start rewriting history, would you?
Right.
Can you give me a specific example of how this might play out in a real museum setting?
Absolutely.
I'm really starting to visualize the possibilities here.
They outline a compelling example in the paper
Okay.
involving a stolen artifact. Imagine you're walking through the museum
Okay.
and you stumble upon a scene where Pharaoh Akhenaten discovers that his funerary equipment has been robbed.
Okay. I'm already picturing the scene, a dimly lit tomb.
Exactly.
Maybe some eerie shadows dancing on the walls.
The curator sets up this initial scenario, and then the AI steps in to enrich the experience. It might populate the scene with fitting background characters,
Okay.
perhaps a few shifty-looking nobles who are eyeing the throne,
Ooh, intrigue.
or maybe a guard dog that's suspiciously asleep on the job.
And does the AI choose these characters from the museum's collection?
That's right.
Okay.
It pulls from that knowledge base we talked about,
Yeah.
selecting characters and objects that fit the narrative context and enhance the overall storytelling.
So they're not just randomly generated, they're actually grounded in the museum's collection.
Right.
That's a brilliant way to connect the physical space with the digital narrative.
Yeah, you're getting it.
I am.
And to create an even more immersive experience,
Right.
the AI might select a specific location from the museum's collection, like a particular temple courtyard or a section of a tomb,
Okay.
to really root the scene in the physical space.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
So it's like the museum itself becomes a stage for this interactive drama, blurring the lines between the physical and the digital.
Precisely.
Wow.
The AI takes all these elements, the scene, the characters, the chosen objects and location,
Yeah.
and then crafts the actual text of the story,
Okay.
using the specific tone and style specified by the curator. They might request a suspenseful tone, a comedic approach,
Yeah.
a more educational style. The possibilities are vast.
It's like a choose-your-own-adventure through history.
Right.
Personalized to the museum you're visiting.
Exactly.
But wouldn't this approach require a massive amount of work up front?
Yeah.
I mean, tagging every single object in a museum's collection
Right.
with potential narrative roles.
Right.
That seems like a monumental task.
It certainly can be.
Yeah.
But the paper emphasizes that this doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing approach.
Okay.
Museums could start small,
Right.
perhaps focusing on a single exhibit or developing a pilot project around a specific theme. The key is to start somewhere and iterate,
Okay.
learning and refining the process along the way.
That makes sense. So we've covered the basic mechanics of the system, but what about the bigger picture?
Right.
How could this technology impact the museum experience as a whole?
Okay.
I mean, is this just a cool gimmick?
Right.
Or could it actually transform how we engage with history and culture?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's one that the researchers delve into in the paper.
Okay.
They argue that this isn't just about adding a layer of entertainment.
Right.
It's about fundamentally changing how museums connect with their audiences.
I'm really curious to hear more about their arguments.
Sure.
What are some of the potential benefits they highlight?
Yeah.
And what about the challenges? I mean, I can already imagine a few potential pitfalls with this kind of technology.
You're right to be thinking critically about both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
And the researchers do acknowledge that there are important considerations to address, especially when it comes to balancing creative control, maintaining accuracy,
Right.
and ensuring a responsible approach to representing history and different cultures.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's dive into those challenges
Okay.
and explore how this technology could shape the future of museums in part 2 of this deep dive.
Sounds good.
Right.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah, you're right. It's crucial to think critically about this technology.
Yeah.
The paper raises some really interesting points
Okay.
about the balance between human creativity and AI assistance.
That's what I was thinking. You
Yeah.
wouldn't want the AI to take over completely.
Right.
and lose that human touch, that unique curatorial perspective that makes each museum special.
Absolutely.
Mm.
The researchers emphasize the importance of the curator retaining control over the narrative.
Okay.
It's about harnessing the AI's capabilities
Right.
as a tool, not letting it dictate the story.
So it's like a collaboration with the AI offering suggestions and possibilities, but the curator ultimately shaping the final narrative.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
They also highlight the importance of ongoing human oversight
Right.
to ensure that the AI's output
Okay.
is aligned with the museum's values and mission.
It sounds like a delicate dance, finding that sweet spot between AI assistance and human creativity.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I'm really excited about the potential of this technology to revolutionize the museum experience.
I mean, that's what makes this research so compelling.
Yeah.
It's not just about technology for technology's sake.
Right.
It's about exploring how AI can enhance our understanding of the past and create more meaningful connections with history and culture.
It's like taking a step beyond those static displays and dusty artifacts and actually stepping into a living, breathing story.
You're hitting on a key point there.
Yeah.
They argue that interactive narratives can lead to deeper engagement
Mm.
and more active learning. It's not just about passively observing.
Great.
It's about participating in the story, making choices that shape your experience.
This makes me think about all those times I've wandered through a museum and felt a bit lost
Yeah.
or struggled to connect with the exhibits.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it can feel like you're just looking at a bunch of random objects with no real context.
You're not alone.
Okay.
Traditional museum exhibits can sometimes feel a bit one-dimensional.
Yeah.
With interactive storytelling,
Uh-huh.
you have the opportunity to personalize the experience,
Okay.
to follow the threads that intrigue you the most,
Right.
to dive deeper into the aspects of history that resonate with you personally.
That sense of agency, of being in control of your own journey through the museum, I can see how that would be incredibly appealing, especially for younger audiences
Right.
who are used to interactive experiences.
Exactly. The paper highlights the potential of this technology
Yeah.
to ignite curiosity and make history come alive.
Uh-huh.
For those who might find traditional museums a bit, well, let's be honest, boring.
Let's face it, sometimes those long, detailed descriptions on the little plaques next to the artifacts can be a bit overwhelming.
They can.
Right.
But imagine if instead of reading a wall of text,
Yeah.
you could actually experience the story behind an artifact.
Right.
Make choices that impact its fate.
Uh-huh.
Feel like you're a part of its history.
Hmm.
That's the kind of transformative potential we're talking about here.
But I do wonder
Yeah.
if everyone is off on their own personalized narrative adventure. Do we lose that shared experience of visiting a museum together?
Right.
That sense of collective discovery and wonder?
That's a thoughtful question.
Yeah.
It's certainly something to consider.
Okay.
Perhaps there's a way to strike a balance,
Right?
to offer personalized storylines while also creating opportunities for shared experiences. Perhaps through collaborative challenges or group discussions inspired by the interactive narrative.
I like that idea. It's about finding ways to weave the individual and the collective together. Speaking of potential challenges, I know we touched on accuracy and responsibility earlier.
Right.
Can you expand on what the researchers had to say about those aspects?
They raise some important points
Okay.
about the need for rigorous fact-checking and quality control when using AI for storytelling.
Yeah.
You don't want the AI to start fabricating historical events or presenting information
Right.
that's inaccurate or misleading.
Right. You wouldn't want to walk out of a museum thinking that ancient Egyptians had pet dinosaurs or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about ensuring that the AI-generated narratives
Right.
are grounded in solid historical research
Uh-huh.
and presented in a way that's both engaging and accurate.
So it's not just about letting the AI run wild.
Right.
It's about setting clear guidelines and parameters, about having human experts involved every step of the way.
Precisely. And they also stress the importance of transparency,
And
making sure that visitors are aware that AI is being used and understand its limitations.
that makes sense. It's about building trust and encouraging visitors to engage with the technology in a critical and informed way.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
It's about fostering a dialogue,
Right.
not just presenting a one-way flow of information.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits and the challenges, but what about the practical side of things?
Okay.
What would it actually take for a museum to implement this technology?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, the foundation of this system
Yeah.
is that meticulously curated
Yeah.
knowledge base,
Right.
a digital archive of the museum's collection with rich semantic tagging
Right.
that identifies the potential narrative roles of each object.
So a museum would need to invest a significant amount of time and resources
Yeah.
into digitizing and annotating their collection
Right.
before they could even begin to implement this technology.
That's right. It's a considerable undertaking.
Yeah.
But it's also an investment in the future of the museum,
Right.
in creating a foundation for new and innovative ways of engaging with their collection.
It sounds like a long-term vision, not something that can be achieved overnight.
Mm-hmm.
But I can see how it would be worth the effort, especially if it opens up new possibilities for accessibility and inclusion.
Absolutely. Imagine a museum where visitors can choose to experience exhibits in different languages
Right.
or have the narrative tailored to their specific interests or learning styles.
Mm-hmm.
The potential for personalized and accessible learning is huge.
It's like tailoring the museum experience to each individual visitor,
Mm-hmm.
creating a truly personalized journey through time and culture.
That's a powerful image.
Yeah.
They also discuss the potential for using game engines to create these interactive experiences.
So we're talking about leveraging the technology that's used to create video games to bring museum exhibits to life.
Exactly. Game engines are incredibly versatile tools for creating immersive and interactive environments. They can be used to build virtual worlds,
Right.
populate them with characters and objects, and create dynamic storylines that respond to player choices.
This is starting to sound like something straight out of Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
But instead of the exhibits coming to life on their own, we're the ones bringing them to life through our interactions.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
It captures the sense of wonder and possibility that this technology offers.
Right.
And who knows what the future holds.
Yeah.
Maybe one day we'll be able to walk through a museum and actually interact with holographic projections of historical figures.
Wow.
Or step into virtual recreations of ancient cities.
That would be incredible. But I have to ask,
Sure.
are current AI systems sophisticated enough to create those kinds of complex and nuanced narratives?
That's a key question.
Yeah.
And it's one that the researchers acknowledge needs further exploration.
Okay.
Current large language models are incredibly impressive, but they're still primarily trained on text.
So they might be great at generating paragraphs of descriptive text,
Mm-hmm.
but not so great at crafting dialogue that feels natural and engaging,
Right.
or creating storylines with multiple branching paths and complex character interactions.
That's the challenge.
Yeah.
They point out the need for more research into how to evaluate the AI's performance in this specific context.
Okay.
How to measure whether an AI-generated story is truly compelling, accurate, and educational.
Right. It's not just about whether the AI can string together grammatically correct sentences. It's about whether it can capture the nuances of human storytelling,
Right.
create characters we care about, and weave narratives that transport us to another time and place.
Precisely. And they also highlight the importance of user studies, of getting feedback from actual museum visitors to see what works and what doesn't,
Right.
to iterate and refine the technology based on real-world experiences.
So it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the human element, about understanding how people interact with these AI-powered narratives.
Yeah.
And what makes them truly engaging and meaningful.
Exactly. And that's what makes this research so exciting.
Yeah.
The starting point.
Right.
A springboard for further exploration and innovation.
Yeah.
We've just begun to scratch the surface of what's possible
Uh-huh.
when we combine the power of AI with the creativity of human storytelling and the rich tapestry of history and culture.
Well, I'm definitely feeling inspired.
Yeah.
This deep dive has completely changed my perspective on museums and the potential of technology to transform how we learn and connect with the past.
Me too. And I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
If you were a museum director considering this technology, what would be your top priorities?
That's a great question. I think my first priority would be to make sure that any AI-generated narratives are carefully vetted for accuracy and presented in a way that's both engaging and respectful of different cultures and perspectives.
I agree. That's absolutely essential.
Yeah.
It's about using this technology responsibly and thoughtfully.
Right.
Not just for the wow factor, but for genuine educational value.
And I'd also want to make sure that the human element remains at the heart of the experience. I'd want to involve curators, historians, and educators in the development process to ensure that the AI is being used to enhance and complement their expertise, not replace it.
I think that's a wise approach.
Yeah.
It's about fostering a collaboration between human and machine,
Right.
each playing to their strengths to create something truly unique and inspiring.
I'm also really interested in the potential of this technology to make museums more accessible and inclusive. I'd want to explore ways to use AI to create personalized experiences for visitors with different needs and learning styles.
Right.
And to offer translations in multiple languages.
That's a fantastic goal.
Yeah.
Imagine a museum where everyone, regardless of their background or abilities, can feel welcome.
Right.
And empowered to engage with history and culture on their own terms.
It's a powerful vision.
Yeah.
And I think this research points us in a really exciting direction. I'm definitely going to be keeping a close eye on this field and seeing how it develops in the coming years.
Me too. And I can't wait to see what innovative applications emerge as the technology continues to evolve and we learn more about how to harness its potential in a responsible and creative way.
Well, this deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about.
It has.
I know I'm going to be looking at museums in a whole new light from now on.
I have a feeling you won't be the only one.
Yeah.
This research has the potential to spark a whole new wave of innovation and creativity in the museum world. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be the characters in those interactive narratives.
Wow.
Inspiring future generations to explore and connect with the past in ways we can't even imagine yet.
Now that's a thought-provoking image.
It's certainly a reminder that history is never truly static. It's a living, breathing entity that's constantly being reinterpreted and reshaped through new discoveries, new perspectives, and now perhaps even new technologies.
Yeah, it really is amazing to think about how this technology could, bring history to life in a whole new way.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between reading about ancient Egypt in a textbook and actually being able to walk through the streets of Thebes or explore the inside of a pyramid.
That's a great analogy. And what's really exciting is it's not just about recreating the past. It's about creating like a dynamic and engaging experience that allows you to connect with history on a personal level.
I can see how that would be especially powerful for students. I mean, imagine learning about the Roman Empire by actually taking on the role of a Roman citizen, making decisions that impact the course of history.
Exactly. It taps into that natural human desire for stories, for agency, for making choices that matter. And it does it within the context of real historical events and figures.
And I love the idea of using game engines to create these immersive experiences. It's like bringing the power of video games to the world of museums.
It's a perfect marriage of technology and storytelling. And it opens up so many possibilities for creativity and innovation. Imagine a museum exhibit where the environment actually changes. Based on your choices. Where hidden passageways open up or ancient artifacts come to life.
It's like stepping into a movie or a video game.
Exactly.
But I do wonder, how do we ensure that these AI-generated narratives are historically accurate? I mean, we wouldn't want to sacrifice factual integrity for the sake of entertainment.
That's a crucial point. The paper stresses the importance of having historians and curators involved in every step of the process. From the initial concept development to the final fact-checking.
So it's not just about letting the AI run wild. It's about using it as a tool to enhance and amplify human expertise.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between creativity and accuracy. Between pushing the boundaries of storytelling and staying true to the historical record.
It sounds like a delicate dance, but one that's worth exploring. And I think this research raises some really important questions about the future of museums. I mean, if technology like this becomes more widespread, how will it change the way we experience and interact with history?
That's a fascinating question to consider. I think it has the potential to make museums more engaging, more accessible, and more relevant to a wider audience.
I can definitely see that. Imagine a world where museums aren't just static repositories of artifacts, but dynamic interactive spaces where history comes to life.
And where learning isn't just about passively absorbing information, but about actively exploring, questioning, and engaging with the past.
It's like opening a door to a whole new dimension of understanding.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to remember that this technology is still in its early stages.
Mm.
Who knows what incredible innovations lie ahead?
It's an exciting time to be exploring the intersection of AI and cultural heritage.
Right.
And I have a feeling that this is just the beginning of a transformative journey
Yeah.
that will reshape the way we connect with history for generations to come.
Well, this deep dive has certainly been an eye-opener.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at museums in a whole new light now.
Me too. And I encourage you to do the same the next time you visit a museum.
Yeah.
Take a moment to imagine the possibilities. What stories could be hidden within those artifacts?
Right.
What secrets could be waiting to be unlocked?
And who knows, maybe one day you'll find yourself stepping into an interactive narrative, embarking on a personalized journey through time, guided by the power of AI.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those imaginations firing.
And thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of the world of ideas and innovation.